Happy freaking Global Running Day or belated Global Running Day, that is. What's up, fam?
Woo! Yes, we had a great global running day recording. So you're gonna hear it the day after, but still it's like global running week. So there you go.
Pretty much every day is Global Running Day on Lactic Acid with Dom and Laura. Come on, you know the drill. All thriller, no filler. That's how we roll. Got a little emotional there, sis. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, we went deep. Dom and I dove in and shared our journeys into the sport, and just the ups and downs that we've both experienced over our time in the running community and just everything that can come with that. But how we're so grateful that it has brought us here doing the show together. But we also veered off of that. And what else did we talk about, Dom?
We talked about the things that we're most proud of when it comes to ourselves and each other. Got a little emotional. We were going to save that for Patreon, but we love you guys nonetheless. But we also had some fun topics about dipping French fries in Frosties in our post-race craving. Important conversations, and we'll continue to have these conversations about body image, counting calories, all that, all those things that are big struggles within the sport. And then we kicked it off with a doozy. We talked about Pop Tarts and a big surprise at the end, especially for those who have followed Laura and I on this journey and know that we can't agree on anything. So it was big. Listen, Road to 1K starts today. Technically, it started like 2 weeks ago, but still, we're trying to get to 1K because there's a
Still on
big
that road.
surprise. We're still on that road. We're on the Old Town Road. We're gonna ride till we can't no more. But listen, it was a great episode. Follow us on social media. Where can they find you on Gram, sis?
They can find me at Elf Wheat.
And y'all can follow me on Lactic Acid Podcast with Dom and Laura, which is pretty much our podcast. We don't check it when it comes to Instagram. That's okay. All through no filler. We still love you. We answer some fan questions. And listen, Global Running Day. Global Running Day is every day. Go out for a run if you want to. If not, I didn't run on Global Running Day. So that makes it all good. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I hope you enjoy the episode. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, and welcome to Lactic Acid. I am Dom, and let me just give the proper introduction to my co-host because she is a certified baller, so certified she needs a blue check mark next to her name everywhere she goes. Cool in the Game wrote a song called Too Hot because it describes the temperature in her house because her air is not working, but also what she is bringing on the running trail in these roads on the track. And listen, her reps are as smooth as Hidden Valley Ranch because you could put it on everything and not regret it. She is part two, the second half, my partner in crime. Tell him your name.
My name is Laura. And that was truly such a fantastic intro. And as you all know, my co-host is a man that needs no introduction, Dominique Smith.
Wow.
Look at
Why
that.
don't
Nailed
I
it. Nailed it. We
nailed
still
it?
got it. We took a week off, you guys, last week, as you know. There was not an episode. And Dom and I are back, ready for a new week. And we felt like it was only appropriate that we come back on air on Global Running Day.
Mhm.
So woo woo.
Woo, woo. Why don't I need an introduction?
Because you're the man, you're the legend, you're greater than fried chicken. You don't need an introduction.
Ow!
Also, because to be fair, your intros of me are so incredible that I just feel like I can't quite match that heat. And so it's better for me to just stay in my lane. And like intros really like aren't my lane. So,
Heat is the theme today because
oh my God. So hot. My house is like 80 degrees, which I know is like, if you're going to have problems, that is not a bad problem to have. My AC unit has been off and on working for the last month. It's brand new. I got it put in October. But for whatever reason, now that it's 90 degrees, it's decided to just not work. And no one can figure out why. So Henry and I are slowly just melting away in my condo. I told Dom, I was like, man, I almost had to come on the air today in a sports bra. Like I am So incredibly hot. My run this morning was also in like 90 degrees. It was so hot. We were fairly unwell, like 7 miles in. We had to stop at this like creek that's kind of part of like that runs alongside this trail in Boulder that we were running and like dip our hats in the water and like sprinkle ourselves because we were like, we aren't going to make it back to the car. So I forgot what summer running is like. And then I came home and my house was the same temperature as it was outside. So the only way I could get any type of reprieve was to take a cold shower, which like I am not a cold shower girl. I think people that take cold showers are psychotic. But I had no choice today and that cooled me off for like a little bit, but now I'm right back in it. So anyway, that's my story on this global running day. I am so hot.
You know what else is hot? This episode. That's
This episode is hot,
it is
hot, hot, hot.
ole ole, bro.
And here I am complaining about heat. Meanwhile, Dom is in Florida where it's probably 100 degrees with 100% humidity. So I will shut up now. I'll stop complaining about how hot I am. It
We
could be so much worse.
we had a conversation about what you're dealing with, and I just stayed quiet. Um,
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
because
He's like, "That must be hard for you."
because when you live in Colorado, like I understand it. It's hot. Like that's 90 degrees is hot. Not having air, operating air in your house is hot. But I think if I'm not mistaken, right now the feel like temperature is 101.
Oh my God. And it's see, we were talking about this. One of my teammates is from Maryland. And the other day we were running and I was like, "Oh, are you gonna like go home this summer to Maryland and like see your family?" And he was like, "God, no." Like, I don't go home in the summer because of the humidity. And he was like, "A wet heat is very, very different than a dry heat." And I was like, I agree. I always say humidity is like poor man's altitude. Because whenever I go somewhere with humidity in the summer, it's just as hard, if not harder, than like being at altitude and trying to run a race. So yeah, again, I can't complain. A dry heat is very different, and I don't want anything to do with humidity. Like if it's some days, like if we have like, the dew points like 20% here, I'm like, oh my God, it's so humid today. And everyone who like has lived anywhere else with humidity is like, shut up. Like, please stop. It
Really?
is not humid.
So in Florida, we have a scale. So it's like comfortable, a little bit humid, muggy, unpleasant, tropical, and then the oppressive one is like instant sweat. And today I walked, I like went and got Propel from my car.
Nice
I
electrolytes.
brought
Good
it,
job.
yes, shout out. Got that Gatorade Z. You can't even see it, never mind. But um went and got a case of Propel that I just bought from the store, and I was drenched in sweat. I
Just
was
walk to get the Gatorade. You already needed like 2 Gatorades to like replenish what you lost on the
here.
walk.
Okay, you want to hear something crazy? So if you go and you get like a 10 pack or 8 pack of Gatorade from a store and the Gatorade is like room temperature or whatever. In Florida, if you take it outside in the heat and humidity, it gets so cold, like within like 2 to 3 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, science. Okay.
So life hack.
Life
Um,
happens.
so I'm just saying it's like that. And so because of that, I didn't go on a run today. So I
Oh,
said,
you did not run on Global Running Day. How dare you? It's like a sin.
well, then Jesus forgive me because I sin. Like I don't care. It's too
That's
hot.
I was just gonna ask you what workout or what run did you do on Global Running Day? You didn't do one, and I love that. One of my best friends also decided to take the day off. He was like, "Yeah, I know it's Global Running Day, but I'm not running." And I was like, "That's fair. Technically, every day is Global Running Day for some of us, or all of us that run or running every day or whatever the case may be. So that's okay. You can get back out there tomorrow
No.
or the next day. You're like, no, I'm taking the whole week."
We'll try again next year. We're gonna unplug it.
Wow, the running journey is already over. Do you want to
No.
share a little bit about that with us?
There's a heat advisory for the next 5 days in Florida. I'm not running in that.
Do you have a gym that you go to? Do you ever like run inside on the
I
treadmill?
have a 2 week. I know you hate treadmills.
I
Uh,
do. I definitely hate the treadmill, but sometimes it's necessary.
I didn't know gyms were so expensive. So if anyone wants to donate to the Broke Brothers Foundation, so I can attend.
Help us, we're poor. If a gym would like to hop on the sponsorship train, please do.
Yes, I could be the poster child for your gym, eating a chicken drumstick, getting those miles in, and
I
everything.
love that.
But no, I'm doing one more week of HIIT, which I did a workout Monday. I think I told you about that over dinner. I am in so much pain today, it's not even funny. When I get off this call, I have to do a yoga workout for recovery, and then I did a strength workout yesterday. I wasn't
Nice.
going to do this, Laura. Laura, tell them what time you hit in that 200.
Okay. 29?
20.
Okay, yeah. I had a track workout yesterday, speaking of workouts, and part of the track workout, like the middle section, we were supposed to do 200s off of like really short rest. And I was feeling myself yesterday. I was like, I'm feeling really good. It's hard to run controlled 200s. So I kept like passing my teammates, like with like 100 meters to go. I would like go around them. Like we were in a train and then I would go around them and I was like, I feel so good. Well, joke's on me because we had 8. And on the last one, they just blew my doors off. And Matt and Will ran 29. 29?
29?
And obviously, I so badly wanted to as well, but I ran like 30 point. So not quite, but I rounded down because I was like, well, I was close enough. And then what's funny is we all did that and went like immediately finished and like were lactic. And then we were like, oh shit, like we still have to do like 2 by K. Like, why did we do that? Like, that was stupid.
And then she hit
Um,
5 in the weight room multiple times.
Yes, I deadlifted 205 yesterday, which is pretty close to my max, but I did 4 rounds, or not 4 rounds, but I lifted it 4 times. So it wasn't obviously my max. And then I doubled for the first time in 6 months. So yesterday was like a pretty big, like, welcome back to like training, Laura. And then today I was like, why do I feel terrible? I think it was the heat, but I also think it was the fact that I did like 1,000 things yesterday and I was very sore. I was like, why are my hamstrings sore? And then my teammate and friend Matt texted me and he was like, it's because of the 29. And I was like, yes, it is. That's why. I forgot we did that like mid workout.
Dang, bro. So, needless to say, Laura and I are incredibly unwell today.
We
Physically.
aren't well. No, we aren't. We like got on the call and we were like, how do we feel about recording today? And then we're like, no, we're gonna do it. We're gonna bring the people what they want. We took last week off. So yeah, Dom, Global Running Day. You didn't run today, but what has running like what has running like brought into your life? Or like what are you grateful for as far as like your relationship with running and just like the connections you've made or like yeah, where does running play into things for you? I
Have you
always love people's journeys with it.
have you heard the song There's a Thin Line Between Love and Hate?
I know where this is going.
So, mm, I'm trying to be positive. I hate running sometimes.
I mean,
Um,
I do too. I have always said since like day one, I have a love hate with running. So I think a lot of people can relate to how you're feeling.
it's so weird, man. So first of all, we'll get to Laura in a second because she posted something so beautiful on the gram
Mhm.
about her journey, and everybody just needs to watch it. Like, subscribe, follow us. We're really cool. Um, Remember, we're trying to get to 1,000 followers because if we get to 1,000 followers by August, then we will recreate the rant scene from SNL with Melissa McCarthy. Hidden Valley sponsors.
We will. Hidden Valley Ranch, party in my mouth. We just rewatched that SNL skit recently because my friend Taylor, who is also a listener of the show, he was like, have you guys hit 1,000 followers yet? Because I really want to see the ranch challenge. And I was like, you know what that's from? And he hadn't seen the SNL skit. So I sent it to him and then I rewatched it and I was like, man, It is pure gold.
It
And
is
then I was like, do I really have to do that? And she's just dumping a bottle of ranch into her mouth. It's like all over her face. So I was like, oh no, what have I signed up for? But we want 1,000 followers. We believe we can get that goal. So if
what
we do, we're gonna reenact it. It's gonna be great.
what did she say? Nobody likes you, Sue. Like, or
Yeah, nobody likes you, Sue. Yeah, and then she's like, Hidden Valley Ranch. It's a party in my mouth.
and she's
HBR,
dumping.
party in my mouth.
I don't
I
want to
want
get
to make like a shirt that says that. And so that's one of the ideas that I'm going to pitch to Hidden Valley next time I decide to contact them again.
again.
I'm like, hey, listen, check this out. This would be a great like t-shirt idea.
So
Party in my mouth.
which rejection do you think is going to be more painful? The one they gave me or the one they could potentially give you?
I don't know. The one they gave you was like pretty aggressive. They were basically like, no, can you take this survey about Clorox?
First of all,
That is such a painful rejection of like, wow, no one wants me.
that sent me into the hidden valley.
Yeah,
when
Dom texted me that. He was like, this one kind of hurt. And I was like, fair, that's pretty aggressive.
Because they called the podcast a charity case, and we don't sponsor charity cases. Can you fill out a Clorox?
No, sir, I can't. Not after you call me a charity case. I will do no such thing. I
But still,
have some boundaries
yeah,
and like I like myself like a little bit to be like, I'm gonna say no to that.
but still help us. We're poor.
But yeah, still help us report though. Yeah, sadly, that wasn't enough for me to like stop reaching out. So again, I've learned nothing.
Boundaries are just suggestions for Laura and I,
They
basically,
are.
and we don't take suggestions. But back to the point in what I was saying, I hate running sometimes, more times than often. But I will say this: never in my wildest dreams. How do I want to say this? And I was thinking about this. I told in the last episode, I talked about my Coach Ted Benz. And because of him, that's how I got into track and field. And um, I think I've told you the story, but I saw them throw the discus and the shot put. I was like, I can. What was really the discus? I was like, I can do that. But the real kicker, I don't know if I told you that. Of why I joined the track team was because they put your names on the jacket that they give you, the warm up jacket.
I love that.
I still have mine. It's written in cursive. Um, it doesn't fit. I broke the zipper, but that's okay.
It's okay. You still have the jacket with your name on it. You still have that.
Memories. Um, but anyway, I don't know. It was something I wasn't very good my first couple years, but I always enjoyed it. I loved watching my teammates, and we live in Florida, so some of the Olympians that you see, Marvin Bracy Williams, he went to school like 3 miles from me. They used to come to our track, and we used to compete against their school. So I got a chance to see people like him. I got a chance to see a lot of people who were playing college football who were track stars, a lot of people who are running now, who've recently retired, and it was just so fascinating. Um, my senior year, I needed volunteer hours, and I was a volunteer assistant on the cross country team. So I hated running really because in Florida, cross country races start at 7 o'clock, which
They
means
have to because it's 100 degrees.
I know, but we train in it. So I'm like, listen, it's Bill's character. But um I hated getting up that early. But it was something so cool about that teamwork, that camaraderie. A bajillion people lined up, running into the woods, sinus infections galore from the allergies that you're going to catch. Maybe that was just me. And I just loved it. And senior year had a great year. Went away from it from a little bit. And then I remember there was a need. The same guy, same coach, he said, listen, I need you to come help me coach. Helped out with middle school cross country. Middle school was different. And then went to the varsity level, was middle school assistant cross country coach, then middle school assistant track coach, and then varsity assistant coach, and it was just something unique. And you know this as a coach when you see your kids reach their full potential and you see confidence and just I did some private coaching and all that stuff, and I don't know. And I have to give a shout out to this person. And I'm sorry this is a long-winded answer, but it's the best way I know how to answer it. I promise it will make sense. It's gonna be good. Just gotta give me time. Adair Light at Homer. Adair was somebody I probably coached against, but she worked for Mile Split, which is a part of Flow Track or Phil, whatever. And our brand was Florida Runners. Every state has it. She gave me coming out of college. I was not meant for me to keep covering politics and local government, but she gave me my first shot at running.
Mm.
And she's like, okay, we don't have to go to the cross country meets, but this is what I want you to do. I want you to write profile stories on these kids and these coaches. She let me do a series on some of the well-known coaches and of some of the teams here, athletes. And it's crazy. Some of the kids that I wrote on in high school, I see they're going to be competing like this week at NCAA.
That's so cool.
And so I know their parents, like I get a chance to talk to them. I see them run. Some of them have come on the show. Um, it's just so crazy. And then that launched into the Magic Boost program, where Sidious and or Chris Chavez and just different people kind of were over that. And I got a chance to be with this incredible class, whether it's two black runners with Aaron and Joshua Potts, Real Talk with um, T Williams. God, we had like a powerhouse class. Hannah Borenstein, Emma Zimmerman, so many people. Johnny Zhang, who's a famous photographer, and just learning for 8 weeks in this like fellowship kind of ordeal feel, and then going to Eugene and covering. Like I just loved it so much. And then you just I don't know, it's just a different world. It's the sport that made me feel like I was at home.
Mhm.
It just made me running has its issues, running has its issues with equality, whether it comes to race, men, women, all the above. But there's just something about running. And I love football, love college football. That's what I did before covering running. But I just loved it. And then you start meeting cool people. And because of that, that's how Lactic Acid came to be. And then I met you and we had this 2 hour conversation. And then I meet my coach Tori, and I just start to like maybe I can do this. And then I always tell you, um, there's a couple people, and you're one of the main people, and I think maybe I've said this on the show, you made it less scary. Like you made it seem enjoyable, even the hard stuff enjoyable. Um, I have not experienced that yet. It still sucks. The hard stuff, I'm like, God, I have to put one foot in front of the other and actually do this at a fast pace. Like who does this? I honestly have like those days, like imposter syndrome. Like, what are you doing? You should be hitting a bag or something like that, playing football. But I don't know. There's a joy that I have. And a friend of mine said something to me because I was thinking about doing something else. And I said, I don't really know based on my writing style. This is getting a little deep. But I said, I don't, sometimes I feel like there's not a place for me
Mm.
in the sport when it comes to writing and the stories I like to tell, uplifting, all that stuff. So I was going to do something else. And she asked me, she says, are you sure that's what you want to do? And it's like, no matter what, it was like, no, it's just, this is what I love. This is the sport I love. These are the people I love. And so Global Running Day gave me a different perspective of the world.
Mm.
It's helped me as a journalist. It's helped me as a person because you meet a lot of sucky people, but I've some of the coolest people. Like, who would have thought I am co-hosting a podcast that the Lord gave me coming from the Prefontaine Classic in 2021? I could tell you exactly where. I was in Denver. I was in Colorado. I was flying over Colorado. And the name, like, you got to do a podcast came. When we got to Kansas City, that's when the name Lactic Acid came. Like, I just remember it. Never thought I would have a co-host, and didn't have the relationships with some of the runners and the friendships I have, and who would have known that my very best friend is my co-host? Like I never would have pictured that. So for all that sucks about running, because there are some things that outside of actually running that sucks sometimes, but there's a lot of issues in the sport. There's a lot of issues when it comes to opportunity, um, when it comes to safety. I mean, I'll be honest with you. There are times like and I don't expect everybody to understand this. And so people may hear this and like, oh, what the heck is he talking about? There are some places I don't really feel comfortable running. And I
Mhm,
certainly don't feel comfortable running when the sun goes down.
mhm,
So there's, but that's more of a human, that's just sucky people. But there's this issues, but then there's just something so beautiful when you see the Olympics and people from different countries and different backgrounds and walks of life gather to run. When you are watching the Paralympics and you see people with in wheelchairs and sprints where they have different ailments and stuff, and they're able to do like these marvelous things. When you see um, non-able body people being able to do extraordinary things, like there are certain things in the sport that can't be comprehended, but there are also certain things in the sport that I believe need to be portrayed as what we should improve upon as people in this world. So Global Running Day gave me opportunity. Um, it gave me opportunity, it gave me perspective, but there's a newfound joy of just going out, moving your body, and I don't know, gaining confidence from it. This sport is literally like if anybody ever watched Frosty the Snowman, when Frosty went into that green room and he died, that like
Oh my God.
that's not just Laura's house. That's like sometimes how the sport
He
is.
died.
um,
I wasn't expecting that.
he came back next year, saying to make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
he good.
Yeah, he came back.
Santa hit him with that Christmas stove. And
Oh.
but sometimes I mean I'm sure you can relate to sports like that. Um,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
that place, but also it could be the tool that lifts you out of everything. And you gain confidence. You gain, I'll say this, some of these workouts I've done, I've like, dang, like I can do this. Like, and
Mhm.
so now I was telling my coach, Tori Parkinson, and shout out to her, Elite Purpose Training, the best coach in the world. Debate your mama on that one. Tori Parkinson5 at gmail.com if you need a coach. But I just said, like, I remember recently, I said, I can now, Monday night, I said, I can envision myself doing well in this 5K in December. August, no. But December, like I can see I'm very competitive, so I'm gonna compete, but I can see myself reaching my goal and doing that. So Global Running Day has meant that to me. I am so sorry for that long-winded answer, but
Oh, that was a beautiful answer, Dom. I think you really encapsulated like all of the things that make running running and all of the things that make the sport. And there's issues in the sport, and there's a lot of things that I think so many of us are wanting to strive to make better. And by no means, that's my eye, excuse me.
she's just so emotional.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think you just nailed it. Like there's so many things in the sport that I think so many of us in it, or people maybe even on the outside watching, like want to strive to make better. And by no means is it a perfect community, is it a perfect space for everyone. But then at the same time, like the community piece of it has been such a big thing for me, and the people that I have met through this sport, the people that I have been connected through because of running, the places I have been, like the life that I have ultimately had over these past 20 years since I really got into it, has just been incredible. And there's been really hard things, and things that in the moment I thought were going to break me, and the sport has tested me in more ways than I thought possible. But I think through those really hard times and those really hard experiences, I learned so much about myself. And I learned how to fight for myself, and I learned that I'm strong. I learned that I'm confident. I learned that I bring a lot to the table. And I learned that I am like a very like independent woman. And I have, over the course of my career have really grown into that. And I wouldn't be where I am without running, and I wouldn't be where I am without all of the experiences, the great experiences, the highs, the lows, the really challenging, heartbreaking experiences. Just all of that has led me here. And it has led me to the space that I'm in now. It has led me to co-hosting a podcast with you. It has led me to co-hosting a podcast called Relay with, 7 other people who I look up to and respect, who are involved in all different parts of the industry. It has led me to the team that I'm on. It has led me to so many of the friendships that I have. It has led me to the coach that I'm working with, who I am just so incredibly grateful for. I've just, when I take a step back and kind of look at all of that, I'm just like, wow, like I'm so incredibly grateful for running. And I'm so glad that it has been part of my life in the way that it has. But it just kind of encompasses all of the things that you were talking about. And I think in a way that's what makes it so beautiful. It's hard. And there's frustrating things, and there's things there's a lot of inequality, and there's things that aren't fair, and there's a lot of like cracks and spaces where we can really make more of an effort as a community to improve. But I think, I go to like major marathons, and, there's 50,000 people there. We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different goals. We train all over the world. Like we all got into the sport in our own way, in different ways. And there we all are about to take on this 26-mile journey. And again, I just think it's moments like that that really show you how running can just like be that space for all of us to share, and we can respect that, and we respect one another no matter what it is we're doing out there, because of how hard it is, and like the way that running can test you. I think that also kind of bonds you to like your fellow runners. And I do feel like in those moments there is just such a great sense of community. So anyway, I thought your answer was beautiful. And I think it does encompass Global Running Day and the, kind of what we celebrate on this day. And I really think it's just a great day to like take that step back and celebrate your own journey in the sport, whatever that looks like. And it's cool that we can kind of do that and then like share that with one another. I think, again, that's kind of what makes this sport so special. So yeah, Global Running Day. What a day.
Let
A day to
me
look back and reflect.
oh, so a day where you shouldn't run. I love it. I love it. Let me ask you this, as I wouldn't be a podcast episode if my doggone light didn't go out
Why does
after it
this
was supposed
happen
to.
every single time?
I don't know, but it's very frustrating. I paid a lot of money for that light. Somebody owe me a refund.
Or just
Uh,
sponsor us.
just sponsor us. Just sponsor the show. We're poor.
We're poor.
We're
We'll
cool.
take the money. We're cool though. You're gonna love us.
Right now, we're really hot, but we're still cool.
So cool. Hot but cool.
Um, Let me ask you this. So you made a beautiful video I was trying to tell them about. First of all, shout out to Evan Schwartz the first and the track club. Y'all got the craziest Instagram handle names that I've seen. Whether it's the Shroy dude, Brian Shroy, my dog T-Bone,
What
uh
about the running salamander?
the running salamander. Shout out to the home slice, Alex Dilts the first, bro. The salamander. I used to call him the salamander guy for like ever because I
No,
didn't
a
know what his
lot of
name was.
people, I feel like his Instagram handle has kind of made him famous, because a lot of people are like, oh, that's the running salamander. Like a lot of people refer to him as his handle because it's so unique and different. So yeah, we know we're a cool crew, the track club.
Yeah,
We're bringing all sorts of different things into the picture.
I didn't even know his. You were the one. We were FaceTime. You were like, "Oh, his name is Alex." I was like, "Who is Alex?" It's like the salamander guy. I was like,
And you were like,
"Oh."
oh, the salamander? Yeah, see, the people are like, oh, Alex Stilts. Yeah, I know. I know him because of his Instagram handle.
Oh, I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, you posted such a beautiful video, um, writing a letter to yourself about your journey and things you would have told yourself. A lot of people cried. Um,
I
because
got
it was so
emotional writing that letter. Like I literally wrote it out, It was an exercise that my therapist had recommended I do like a while back. Because she was just like, I was really struggling at the time with like where I feel like I currently am in my career. And I was really comparing myself to like where I had been. And because I'm in a different space now, I was looking at that as like I failed in some way, or like I was looking at it as like, this isn't where I thought I would be at this point in my career, given like the things I was doing, 4 or 5 years ago. And so her whole exercise was like, you need to like write down like what you are proud of, and you need to write down like all the great things, all the hard bad things, like everything that has kind of led you to where you are. So like sometimes when you see that written on paper, it allows you to take that step back and just like really kind of like marvel at like how you have arrived to this space, and how it doesn't have to look the same as it looked 4 or 5 years ago or 8 years ago or 10 years ago. And how it's just all part of this journey. And kind of she was like, write a letter to your younger self about like what you have learned, like what you would take away, like all of these lessons. Just like basically affirming to myself that I'm in a really great space. And yes, it looks different, but it's all like an accumulation of everything that I've gone through and that I've had in my career, and how beautiful that can be. And as again, as a high school coach, I also kind of looked at it as like what I would want my young girls to know. So when I was writing that letter, it's really long. I obviously couldn't do like a 5-minute video. So I had to kind of pick and choose what I wanted to put in my video, but it was really therapeutic, and I did get emotional because, you're remembering these like really incredible moments and these things like you were talking about. Like running has showed me how truly capable I am. And I have done things in my career that I'm like, how the F did I do that? Like, how did I do that? Like just things like that running has showed me how I can really test and push my limits. And when I'm fearless, the way that I feel like I really am in my running, like what can come from that. And so it's just showed me the strength about myself. And then, you contrast that with just like the really hard things that I've gone through and situations I've been in, and, people that I've worked with that, had ultimately let me down, and made things really challenging and made me question if I could continue in the sport. And so that's all in there, and it's all part of this incredibly beautiful, beautiful journey. And it's been such a wild ride. But it really made me appreciate where I am. And it made me realize that my career and like whatever I end up doing the rest of this year or however long I choose to continue to compete, it doesn't have to look like it did. And that's beautiful, and it shouldn't. And I'm 35. I'm a different athlete than I was when I was 25, 26, 27. And I can still do incredible things that I couldn't do when I was 25, but I don't have to like have the same type of trajectory or be doing the same things that I was doing at 25. Like it's just, it gave me that perspective of where I am and how much there is to be grateful for, and how much I appreciate where I am, the people I have. I wouldn't have these people in my life. I wouldn't have you in my life had I not gone through what I went through and really learned how to set boundaries, really learned how to stand up for myself and voice and trust in myself with what I need, and like really created that group of people around me. And I feel like I really have that for the first time, maybe ever. And so that's really empowering. And so it's just looking at it from all these different angles, and performance is such a small piece of that. So that's kind of where I got this idea for Global Running Day, to be like, you know what, I'm gonna like read some of the letter that I wrote to myself for this exercise that I did in therapy, because I found that was so therapeutic for me. And again, I was like, thinking about my young high school kids. I'm like, this is what I would want them to know. And this is, these are lessons that I think it's important to like kind of put out there. Anyway, so that's kind of how I'm celebrating Global Running Day, is I feel like my journey with running has like led me to be the woman that I am. And I'm like so incredibly grateful for that.
What Laura is trying to say is she got a blank space.
And I'll write your name.
That's all she's trying to say. If you didn't take it anyway, say neighbor. Come on, say it with me. Say neighbor.
Neighbor.
I got a blank space, baby.
I got a blank space baby.
And if you mess with a sister,
And if you mess with a sister,
I'm gonna write your name. Y'all help me
I'm
here.
gonna write your name. I was like,
Let
where's this going? I don't know.
let the church say amen.
Amen.
Amen. And amen again. Ooh, I felt something tonight. Ooh. I feel like Pam when she was in Chili's on The Office. I feel the spirit of the Lord up in
I
here.
feel the spirit of God
Feel,
in this
feel the
Chili's
spirit.
name.
Ooh, on this podcast, lactic acid. Ooh.
Woo!
Um,
You're really diving in deep today. But
I'll,
I
I'll,
think that's what's so cool is like just listening to kind of both of our journeys with the sport. They're both so different. But how crazy is it that like our journeys have led us here to hosting this podcast and to having this incredible friendship, but we came into the sport so differently. Like I think that right there is like one of the very is what makes running so beautiful, you know, or one of the things that makes it so beautiful is like this right here and like what we just shared with each other. I think is really cool.
we're gonna do a quick exercise and then we're gonna get to the wonderful questions we were asked. Um, but it's crazy because you know my journey, I know yours. It's crazy. Something just dawned on me. We both felt the same way, but in such a different path.
Hmm.
Because you know how I feel when literally prayed, and I was talking about this with my friend. I said, I don't know if there's a space for me in this sport. And you can relate to that, but in such a different way.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. That's kind of the beautiful thing about the experience and why it's important to really be kind to each other, but kind to yourself as well. Having grace is such a hard concept because everybody has a tendency to be a perfectionist, to really beat themselves down and not to puff yourself up to think that you are God's gift to the world. Whereas, we say all that in a bag of Fritos, but it's something just to
T-shirt.
t-shirt, like write that down.
Write that down.
Um, and then at the back of every t-shirt, it's going to be lactic acid and then hashtag help us report. But
Love that. Like
um,
we're gonna climb great heights, Dom. I feel good about this.
yeah, we're gonna put a QR code that just limp us to the lactic acid. No, we're not gonna do that.
We
Uh,
might, I don't know, never say never.
never say never.
I'm not above anything. So, you know,
No,
if times
but
get desperate enough, who knows? Dom and we might start doing that. But anyway,
the
sorry, you were on a very, like, I liked, like, you were
yeah,
saying
yeah,
something
yeah, yeah, yeah.
beautiful and I interrupted you.
The temptation saying ain't too proud to beg. I had to put that in there, but before I forget, but it's just amazing. And when you have grace, I believe if you have grace with yourself, you can have grace with someone else.
Mhm,
You cannot love anyone else if you don't love yourself. And loving yourself and having grace allows you to have perspective of what the reality is when it comes to sports, when it comes to life. So it's just interesting. We've been on two different journeys, obviously two different roles, but still, as you just beautifully said, we meet at the same time in this
mhm,
space and you grow together
mhm.
and stuff. So that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I want to do an exercise. That was kind of the initial question. And go on Laura's Instagram page, L3. That's where you can find her. Let's get her to 20,000 followers with no bots.
Woo
Um,
woo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of my followers are bots.
stop. Stop.
No, remember, so when I was in Orlando, 2 weeks before the trials, Tom texted me and he was like, yo, you got like 5,000 new followers. I was like, what? Like
No, you were
that
still in
can't be.
Colorado.
Oh, okay. I was still in Colorado. I was like, that can't be right. Cause I was like, that was like entering the point before the trials where I decided to get off social media. And I was like, I'm not going to post until like the trials are over. So I wasn't even posting. I had been like inactive for like weeks. And then Dom's like, you got like 5,000 new followers. And I was like, what? I'm not even posting right now. And then I was like, oh my God, is that why? Are people like, oh man, it's the posting that's getting people, they're not feeling it. So I don't know. Anyway, I laughed and I was like, I don't know how I have 5,000 new followers. And then we were like, well, they're probably bots.
And then they all disappeared one day.
Yeah. And then they left as quickly as they came. So anyway, that little anecdote to say, yes, help a sister out. One, lactic acid. We want to hit 1,000. You guys know what's on the line. And two, I'd love to hit 20K. I still don't have the blue check mark. I can get that because I think you have to have like 10,000 or more. And I have 17 and a half. So I should be able to get that, but you have to like do a lot of, I think you have to like apply for it or like pay for it, or there's something I'm unaware of how you get it. So I don't have one. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. So back to the exercise.
Help us, we're poor.
Help us,
It's
we're poor, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like, give us money and followers. I'm like shameless right now. I'm like, no, help me out.
unshameless plug. Help us. Help
Help
us.
us. Anyway, okay, what exercise would you like us to do?
I want you, and we're going to do this. One thing that you're proud of yourself, and then one thing that we're proud of with each other. So, two things in general. So, I'm going to say one thing that I'm proud of, and then one thing that I'm proud of you. And then you're going to say one thing you're proud of yourself, one thing you're proud of me.
Okay.
Um, let's rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first.
Is it, do you do rock, paper, scissors
Shoot.
show or shoot? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Show?
I don't, I meant shoot. I said show and I was like, wait, is that right? No.
It's the
Yeah.
it's the it's the air. All right, you ready?
Okay.
Said rock,
Rock, paper,
paper,
scissors,
scissors, shoot.
shoot.
All right.
Are you
Scissors.
scissoring? Scissors.
Scissors. Okay. Are you ready? Rock,
Rock, paper,
paper,
scissors,
scissors,
shoot.
shoot. Crap, man.
I win. I
Two out
knew
of
if
three.
I knew you wouldn't do scissors again. I was just hoping you weren't going to do rock. So wait,
Two
do
out
I
of
go first then or what? How, who's,
You know what? You won. So you're gonna go first.
yeah, I'll go first. Okay. Um, One thing that I'm proud about myself, I would say, is just how I have fought for myself over the last few years. Both in running and in just life. I'm just proud of the way that I chose to stand up and show up for myself, even when it was really, really hard. Um, so that's what I'm proud of myself for. And then you, I am really proud of you for, I just feel like you're so authentically you and you bring so much to the table. And I just like your ability to be yourself and then show up that way for other people is really inspiring. And it encourages me to do the same thing. And you have showed up for me so many times over the last year by simply being you, by being funny, kind, caring. Um, Again, and I just think it's so cool is you have this platform that you've really created for the sport and you do such a good job of helping people elevate, like be elevated. And you do such a good job of sharing people's stories and their journeys. And so it's just been an honor to like be part of this with you. And yeah, you just being you, to simply put it, is inspiring to me day in and day out.
I, wow, that was really nice. I appreciate that. Um, I'm proud of myself. One thing that I am proud of is the ability to endure.
Mm.
Um, sometimes you just have to go through stuff. You are a distance runner, and distance racing is a race of endurance. I believe life is a marathon with many races in between. Um, some points are sprints, some points you got to run a half marathon, some points it's just a mile, it just depends. And I think my faith has been the driving force, but I thank God every night for the people he's put in place, um, who's helped me and then sometimes carried me
Mhm.
um to the destination or just to where I'm just back on my feet and have the right headspace. Shout out to my mom, who's been the biggest support of all since like day one. Well, literally since day one. Um, you, it's just been so cool just to, we met 2 years ago we became friends 2 years ago, and then it's just like we had this expedited process to get to be like the best friends. Um, and it's been a wonderful journey. So I think enduring hard times is tough, but it produces patience, it produces faith, it gives perspective, and then it allows for the right people to come when you don't quit and you try to do it the right way, the honorable way. Doesn't mean you're perfect. I've had burnt chicken before too, so nobody's perfect. But um, I would say that's the one thing I'm proud of for myself. And for you, it's hard to level it down to one. Um, because there's so many. But truthfully, the one thing that I'm the most proud of is that you are showing up for yourself.
Mm,
And I think Laura and I are like, one thing that makes us unique is we're only children.
mm,
Um,
true.
and so we deal with crap differently, maybe than the rest of the world. Um, and our relationship is more of obviously it's the friendship, but it's almost like a sibling or it is a sibling kind of relationship. Um, but I've seen you kind of show up for yourself, but learn how to show up for yourself and go through that process because sometimes you have to learn painful lessons when you show up for yourself. And it's a process. It's not something that happens overnight, but you are genuinely happy, or happier. Today is not a happy moment, but
No, I still feel genuinely happy, even though I'm like,
no. It's not happiness. You have more joy than you did.
yeah,
Um, and you allowed other people to help you on that journey, on your running journey, to love you unconditionally. Um, and I always say, like, the best Laura is the best thing to ever happen to the world, the best version of her, and it's not even close. So I would say that's what I'm most proud of.
thank you. That's very sweet. And I just want to circle back because you had mentioned this when you were sharing your journey about how you didn't know if there was a space for you in the sport. You are exactly what the sport needs. The sport needs people like you. And again, you have created a space within this sport that elevates people in such a positive way. So you do belong in this sport, and this sport desperately needs people like you. And so I'm so glad that you decided to keep showing up. So I just want to say that because I know how hard that can be when you feel like there's not a space for you, like in a completely different way than you do. But I can understand that a little bit, at least just through some of my own experiences. And I'm just so glad that you kept showing up for yourself and you've created this beautiful space that elevates so many people. So thank you.
Dang, this was supposed to be on Patreon.
We went deep today. Woo!
Gosh, Lee, this is Lactic Acid Uncut. This is stuff you get on
This is
Patreon.
uncut. This is
Or-
uncut. You should make people pay for this. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're not going to because we love you
No,
all. Want you to listen.
no, God,
But yeah,
welcome to Thweet Street and Dom Avenue. Um,
we're
that's a
we're
t-shirt.
gonna hand those shirts out with the QR code to give us money.
Yeah. What do the pastors say? Sow a seed? Like, please do that to Lactic Acid with Tom and Laura,
Oh my God.
and watch that seed grow into something
Yes.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Uh, I will send you a free shirt. We'll send you a free shirt and a trucker hat.
Done. There you go. Now there's
Yes,
incentive. You guys know you want that.
yes,
We're gonna come out with some sweet merch.
yes.
So, um,
But let's wrap this up before we
questions.
both start crying.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's getting really deep. We're both, I can tell, on that verge of tears. So yeah, let's answer some questions. What do the listeners want to know this week? And thank
What
you
do
so much for submitting questions. We really love when you do that. It's so fun for us to feel like we get to engage with you. And again, we just appreciate you listening and coming on this journey with us. So again, thank you for submitting questions. It is really fun for us to like get to kind of engage with you in that way.
we did get some amazing questions. We got 3 amazing questions from three amazing people. And so, as I get these ready, first question is from Hannah Earl. Shout out to Hannah Earl on the
Anna,
beat.
thank you.
She asked, have you ever struggled with body image and how do you approach nutrition and do you count calories?
Wow. That's a really great question, Hannah. I have had a journey with body image. I think that's one of the problems in the sport is that narrative gets thrown around quite a bit, regardless of what level you're at. Um, I struggled with that in college, especially. I was counting calories. I was limiting my food intake. I thought that I would be faster if I lost 5 to 10 pounds. Um, I unfortunately wasn't working with a dietitian or anyone who could help guide me in that. I was, really strictly doing that on my own, which is a really dangerous and scary way to be approaching something like that. And so because of that journey that I went through in college, luckily I had some people step in when they saw what was happening, and kind of help pull me out of that. I started seeing a sports psychologist. I was working with a trainer, and a better dietitian at the time, to kind of help me realize that the path I was going down was not a good one, for my long-term health. So now, all of that to say, I have developed a very healthy relationship with food. I believe food is fuel and your body knows what it needs. And I've worked with incredible dietitians. My good friend Maddie Alm, she runs Fueling Forward. And then another good friend of mine and teammate, Kayla Yates, here in Boulder, also has her own nutrition practice. She's also a registered dietitian. So I've been working with people like that. And really for me, it's making sure that I'm eating enough. Because again, like when you're running, no matter what you're training for, your body is this machine and it needs gasoline. And food is that. And so I don't follow any particular diet. I try and eat balance, but if I'm craving a burger and fries, I go get a burger and fries. I feel like when you have those cravings, it's because your body is needing something that it's not really getting. So I think it's just important to listen to that. And again, I get it's easier said than done. Like I said, I think that's a problem in the sport is that message gets portrayed that you have to look a certain way or you have to be a certain weight if you want results. And really, you just need to be the healthiest version of yourself and the strongest version of yourself. And that looks different for everyone. So again, I think, as I say, it does matter who you surround yourself with. And if people are sending you those messages that you need to weigh less to be faster, I would very strongly disagree with that. And there's so many people and so many resources out there that are there to like help people realize and help them get to that healthiest point for themselves. So anyway, that's a great question. And I wish we had more time to like really dive into that. Hannah, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'm trying to be better about checking my DMs. I'm notoriously terrible. But I would love to talk with you more on that, off air if you have any other questions, or anything like that. But that's a great question. And yeah, I think we need to talk more about that and create safe spaces to talk about that.
We're gonna have an episode on that. I don't know when, but we're gonna have an episode. We're gonna get one
Yes.
of your friends on
Yes, I
because
was
I
gonna say,
think
we're hoping to do that, which I think would be really great. Because again, we're trying to change some of the messaging that I think is just so detrimental to
yeah,
athletes, especially young athletes. And I think so many of us in the sport have had experiences like that. And so now that's one of like my missions as a high school coach is to really start to change that narrative and just your best self when you're strong and healthy and you treat your body that way and it doesn't matter what you look like. There's a space for everyone in this sport and strong and healthy is what we want. So anyway, yeah, that'd be a great episode to do and to bring on like Maddie or Kayla,
yeah.
and just have them talk about that. I think would be so helpful.
I don't count calories. I live by the motto: if you can't fry it, don't buy it. So I'm with you, sister. So
I also kind of live by that motto. Like anything deep fried, I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Next question comes from our girl. I may mess your name up. Please forgive me. I'm gonna send you a t-shirt. I don't know when. It depends on who pays for it. But you'll be the first one to get a t-shirt when it comes out if I mess your name up. Um, Ariella, Sister A.
Ella, woo!
She asked post-run craving. Oh, I can
Oh,
answer that one
man.
too.
Okay, it depends. Like post race, I want a burger and sweet potato fries with a side of ranch. And then I usually always order a Blue Moon. For some reason, that's like what I
Ew.
crave. Don't judge me. We've talked about this. Haters gonna hate. But like today on a super hot day, all I want is some crazy drink from like Starbucks. Like my favorite is the strawberry acai lemonade. Oh my God, so good. So I crave different things. It depends on like the weather, the run itself. Um, but yeah, great question. It kind of just depends on the day and like where I'm at.
Blue Moon is not good. I don't care what you say,
Oh my
and it's
God,
not
it's
hating.
I don't drink it regularly, but for some reason, Blue Moon after like with a burger and fries like hits different. But I've recently been trending like the Modelo
That's
slash
even worse.
I love Corona and Modelo. So good. Anything I can put fruit in, like a lime or an orange. That's how I drink beer. I don't like IPAs. Ugh,
Okay.
I don't go that route. I want like a sour or again, beer that I can put fruit in is kind of like my jam. So
I I am not a fan of IPAs either. So I'm with you on that. So I'm not gonna say Modelo is even worse. Um Shout out to Emma Bates.
yes, we love
So
Gates and Modelo. She's, I think, introduced Modelo into a lot of runners' lives.
yes. Emma, come on the show and we'll have a Modelo show.
Ooh. Noting.
Modelo and nachos.
Ooh, sounds fun. Sounds delicious.
Yes. Emma, we
Wait,
know
what's
you
your
listen to
craving?
this.
What do you crave after like that hard workout you were telling us about that you did? What did you crave after that? Or what did you go
It
get after that?
it is funny. So um when I was in high school, I used to crave Arnold Palmer's.
I love
And
Arnold Palmer's. I got one the night before Boulder Boulder.
yeah, but I don't think they do it right in Colorado.
Of course not. We do nothing right out here.
You don't. So they probably mixed like water and ice and called it an Arnold Palmer. Shout out to Boulder. We love you. I'm sure it was good. I've just never had sweet tea that was actually sweet on the West Coast.
Mm.
So I'm a little skeptical, but we had the real Arnold Palmer. Go to 7-Eleven, get a can and everything. But recently I've been craving steak, and I put my foot in this steak quesadilla, girl. Let me tell
Oh,
y'all
I
something.
love a steak quesadilla. So good.
Made Tell you something. You got that ribeye with that shredded cheese, shredded off like money, and
Mm,
then some sour cream, some pico, some lettuce. Let me tell you something.
mm,
So usually it's steak, or I could put down some Wendy's double stacks and some chicken
Wendy's. God, I
nuggets.
haven't been to Wendy's in a long time.
Let me tell you something.
Okay, question really quick. Do you dip your fries in your Frosty?
I
I
will dip my
love doing
fries.
that. Do people
I
judge
will
that? I feel like there's like you're either in that camp or you're not at all. Like it really like divides people.
Somebody came on the show, and I know you know who I'm talking about. Not you, Laura, but
No.
you, girl. I know you listening, and I want to say congratulations on everything that you did. When it comes to college, she was the Division III All-American.
Woo, woo.
Shout out to you, but I'm not gonna put your name on blast. But I know you listening. Dips chicken nuggets in the frosty. Would you do that?
Whoa, that's a hard move. That's like that feels like an aggressive escalation from dipping a fry in your Frosty. That feels I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wouldn't try it.
That is one of
Definitely
those
think
ones
about
where
it. Like I would think about it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, absolutely not. But I'm like, interesting move. Okay.
you can't disrespect chicken like that.
Wow, chicken in a frosty. Weird.
No. So,
Man,
I
I
don't
have
want,
a
I
lot of
don't,
questions. Like, how did you get there? How were you like, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just like dunk this nug.
I just dunked the
Like,
snug.
how did you get there? I have so many questions.
I
We'll
honestly,
we'll bring her back on the show and we'll unpack that, and then we'll do that. We'll have chicken nuggets and a frosty, and we'll all try it together because this is a safe space.
no, listen, it's
This
a
is a
safe.
safe space.
What she meant, Laura and the person who's going to do it are going to try it. And I'm just going to sit there and talk crap about it because I know that's nasty. We not going to disrespect chicken like that. The devil is a liar. No. Um, but part of me understands like everybody has had a workout where it's just like, you know what? F it. Let me just go ahead and dunk it in anything. But grease and the chicken, no. This last question is a doozy. I would like to preface my comment by saying to the person who asked this question, I don't know your name. Because your Instagram handle is DH loves waffles, and that's totally fine.
Okay. All right. DH
So,
levels.
yes. Shout out to DH loves waffles. We do too.
Woo woo.
Best Pop-Tart flavor.
Oh my gosh, my team and I had this discussion on a warm up and it divided the whole team. Okay, I love the strawberry one. I'm a strawberry girl.
Okay. The regular strawberry or the strawberry kind of the one with the layer on it?
Well, the one with the normal frosting and like little sprinkles on it.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
That's not even a debate.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, there's only one other. The s'mores is really good,
Okay, I
and then
do love s'mores. Like anything s'more flavor, like count me in. That was my other one, and that got like really booed. People like were like, "Oh, s'mores," but a lot of my teammates eat Pop Tarts before workouts. Like that's like their thing of choice. So we got into this whole debate about the best flavor.
I love how you called them s'more instead of s'more. Like you,
Okay, people have said that. I say it weird. S'more.
okay,
What is it?
so
How am I not? I don't get it. What am I missing?
s'more,
S'more.
yeah.
That's weird. That doesn't feel right. Okay.
We found a Pop Tart we agree on. We found a
Yeah, we
food
did.
item.
I did not think that we were gonna agree. I was like, he's gonna shame me for this. But like, yeah, the strawberry with the frosting and the little sprinkles, like that strawberry OG flavor, that's my favorite Pop Tart.
High five, dude.
High five. Dom, I didn't think this was possible.
Anything
Dom
is
and I have like
possible.
literally never agreed on like food at all. I mean,
It's,
I agree with what he likes because his food sounds amazing and he tells me all these amazing things that he makes. But then I share what I like and he was like, oh my God, I can't believe we're friends.
it's like Monday.
You shame
Yeah,
me.
deservedly so. But like Monday, what did I make for dinner Monday? I had like this.
Dom had this whole, he's like, oh, I'm just eating leftovers. It's just a slow braised pork tenderloin shoulder with sweet potato cornbread and like something else. And I'm over here eating a bowl of boxed mac and cheese. And I'm like, don't even talk to me. Like, I hate you. I hate doing dinners with you. It's just sets me up for failure.
It's so true. Like I will put my soul into something, and it's just like this white cheddar macaroni and cheese from Annie's, or a salmon Caesar salad.
Yeah, wow, that is what I've had every time we've done a FaceTime.
And
I have never said that I am good in the kitchen. I like I'm a creature of habit. Once I like know how to kind of like confidently make four things, that is what I eat.
hey,
So,
babe,
I mean,
but your wine choices, gold. Nothing
right?
beats those.
I had a nice rosé. Couldn't
And
tell you
ice cream.
I have ice cream.
Yeah.
Remember. Ooh, sometimes after a hot run, I'll come back and eat a popsicle. So that's always fun. That's like my summer thing.
Okay, so you're probably out of popsicles today.
I don't have any. I just need to like dunk my whole self in the freezer.
Just just hibernate. Well,
Anyway, that
all
was a
these
great
things,
episode. So
all
we
these things, we crushed it, crushed it. Can we get a breakdown or the official team breakdown for lactic acid? One, two, three,
29.
29. And that's how we're rocking on Global Running Day. Listen, running is awesome to everybody listening. You are awesome. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you eat strawberry Pop Tarts. And listen, Follow us along on this fantastic journey. Road to 1K begins today. Love, piece of chicken grease, and we'll catch you next time.